Welcome to Gym Med, a podcast about real people doing extraordinary things and the science that backs them every step of the way. Every episode we sit down with athletes, explorers and everyday individuals who've taken on big challenges. We talk about what drives them, how they prepare, what they struggle with and how they keep on going. This shows us about resilience, growth and what's possible when you understand your body and push it with purpose. Thanks for being here and let's get into it. My name's Mat Desjardins. I am one of the co-founders and managing director at Gym Med. Gym Med is a fusion between medical science and the fitness industries. We use medical testing and analysis of those results to formulate a blueprint, which we then base your completely bespoke and individualized training and nutrition plan. So Gym Med is for those that are looking to excel in their fitness, meet their goals, discover more about their physiological foundation, and through the use of Gym Med we can unlock your blueprint and help you to achieve that. This week we are joined by two incredible individuals, Kaz, the co-founder of Gym Med, and Chrissy. Each of them are on a unique journey that challenges them in a different but equally inspiring way. Kaz is preparing to trek across the remote jungles of Peru, taking on high altitude trails and unpredictable terrain. Beyond the physical challenges, Kaz also shares her perspective on how medical science has influenced her fitness and why it shouldn't be something we just turn to when we're sick, but a proactive tool for living better. We also have Chrissy, who is a personal trainer here at Gym Med and also a mum of 3. She opens up about what it's like managing the demands of family life with helping others reach their fitness goals and how she manages to stay in shape and stay motivated through it all. In this episode, we explore what drives them, how they are preparing for the challenges in front of them, and the science that is guiding them every step of the way. Welcome to the Gym Med podcast. It's lovely to have you with us. As you know, my name's Matt. Would you like to take a quick moment to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi Matt. So my name's Kaz. I'm the clinical director and co-founder at Gym Med.
So Kaz, obviously I know that you're off to Peru for your next sort of challenge. Mm-hmm. How's that going? How's the preparation? Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, so preparation-wise, I've got a few events in the interim before there to build up for it. So I'm climbing Ben Nevis in a few weeks' time. And then the following weekend, I'm doing the Big Peak Marathon. So doing a marathon across the Peak District. And then September comes, it'll be off to Peru for 16 days to trek through the Amazon.
Very nice. And are you going with anyone?
Yeah, so I've got a friend, Luann, who does most of the sort of expeditions and adventures that I get involved in. Drag her along.
And so is it a race or just a challenge for distance?
So it's just an endurance challenge through trekking through the jungle. It incorporates kayaking, climbing and trekking. Very
nice. And have you changed your training regime or anything like that to sort of start to prepare or?
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot more hikes around the Peak District, but also concentrating at the gym on sort of building up lactate levels and things like that, because it's going to be high altitude, so making my muscles function better without that extent of oxygen that they're going to need. Diet-wise, I've changed my diet as well because not only to increase sort of protein levels and things like that, but also the fact that diet-wise, it's going to be a very restricted diet, and it does include
lots of cacao leaves and things.
Yeah, and guinea pigs, which I'm not looking forward to.
And have you trained at altitude before?
I've done not altitude as such. I've done a few big climbs like Snowdon and Scafell Pike and things, but not anything like this.
You obviously mentioned those sort of Ben Nevis, some ultra marathons, things like that. Are you targeting them towards the goal of Peru? Is that sort of how you've planned your training regime out?
Yeah, so it's going to be, the terrain in Peru is going to be very different to sort of normal hiking and mountain climbing. So we've tried to focus on different types of terrain and doing some scrambling as well. On top of that, it's more endurance, so it's building up your stamina to keep going. So the events I've done previously are sort of Snowdon and things. You've been set to time limits to get them done. And then it's trying to beat my time each time. So every time I've done Snowdon, I've tried to beat it, going up and down it in less time. So yeah, it's a lot different to training in the gym. There's not many gyms that have like running machines that'll incline to 40 degrees and things like that. So it's a lot of combining gym work with getting outside and actually climbing over normal terrain that I'm going to be going across, mud, water, things like that.
Are you finding it harder now than you did in the past?
Yes. So I've
Is that recovery
always...
time or...?
It's a bit, to be fair, it's a bit of everything. So I've always been extremely sporty. I've always gone to the gym. I've always done sporting activities. I played hockey to a really high standard through school and university. I've always done running and sort of 10Ks, things like that. I've always rode motorbikes and done off-roading on motorbikes, so which is quite tiring on your sort of knees and back and things like that. And then as I've got older, it's just sort of crept in. So I've never had to worry about what I've eaten. I'm one of those lucky people that I've always been quite athletic. And then even after having children, I lost all the weight. I went back to the gym. I carried on running. Everything seemed strange. And then I literally hit sort of perimenopause symptoms. And that was it. Even getting out of bed some mornings, my hips would kill. I'd have headaches, palpitations. And it just all seemed to come at me. It was like running into a brick wall. It was one extreme to another instantly within a few weeks. And so I was unlucky in that the symptoms had started slightly before COVID, but when COVID hit, I got COVID on a number of occasions, and it was pretty much all my symptoms were put down to sort of long COVID and so I had blood tests, I had ECGs, I had all manner of tests done, and they all came back fine. So then it was looking at it from a different perspective, thinking, you know, I'm in my 40s now, what else could it be? And to be fair, it was quite a nasty shock to realise it was probably the menopause. So from there I just started adapting my training. So I've always been a night person. So as you know, we've worked together for years. I've always done permanent night shifts, and my sleep pattern's been rubbish, and that just hit me really hard. So getting maybe 2 hours sleep a night and then trying to function the next day. So I started looking at alternatives and alternative training. And predominantly in the past, I'd done a lot of cardio with not very much weights and things like that. And I completely did a 360 on my training. So I went from doing a lot less cardio to basically doing weight training and resistance training.
And is there part of that sort of transition period in your health, that was a quite quick transition from what you're describing, really, that sort of gave you a bit of an idea from Gym Med? Because Gym Med is your idea. You gave birth to this, and did that play a part in it? Yeah.
So predominantly, every time I joined a different gym or a new gym, they were always very focused on, from a woman's perspective, weight loss and getting in shape and toning up and things like that. And that's never really been my thing. My thing's always been sort of more stamina and sort of not endurance things, but being able to push it past the limits of just wanting to get fit and go to the gym. I've always wanted a focus, so I've always had a focus for what I'm going to aim for and to do. So yeah, Gym Med came about predominantly because of that, because things that I'd found easy in the past suddenly weren't easy anymore. And it was wanting to have that understanding of why. And coming from a medical background, I understood to some degree hormones, and I understood blood levels, and I understood muscle mass and things like that. But the more I looked into it, the more I realised that predominantly what we did in the clinics and in sort of primary care settings was manage the problem after the problem had come to light.
Start statins after you've had a heart attack.
Yeah, so it wasn't proactive medicine. It was a sticking plaster medicine. So you've got high blood pressure, right? Here's a set of guidelines on how to bring it down. So, and looking at it from my perspective, it was too generic. It's not one sort of program fits all. So you gave out the bog standard sort of health advice. So, you know, stop smoking, cut down your alcohol, lose weight, exercise more. And I was already either not doing, I was either not doing or already doing those things. So I've always exercised, always. I've never smoked. I like a drink, but not in excess that it would have been to the point where...
Do you like a drink, dear? On this health and fitness podcast? Chablis. Yeah.
He's laughing because I drink a lot. I don't now, but I used to drink a lot.
I mean, that was one of the best things about Gym Med for me, is finding out my liver health was perfect. That was a great reassurance.
Oh, God, sorry.
That's fascinating. So, and it was quite a quick change.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden, age had never been a consideration, and then it was.
Yeah, and I've never classed being in my 40s as old.
In your 40s?
Yes, in my 40s. What?
No, you're not.
I'm nearly 50. What do you mean?
Oh, I thought you were 50.
Harrowed. Close, but not there yet. I expect a big birthday present.
Yeah.
So you'll know.
So when did it start?
What?
The
Oh, menopause.
No, not necessarily the menopause, but that change to your fitness.
Probably early 40s.
Wow, young.
Yeah. It was in my early 40s I started to get symptoms of like muscle aches and pains, not recovering. So when I was training, we used to do, it was destroy leg day. That's what it was called, destroy leg day on a Sunday. So I would train for maybe an hour and a half, and I'd push it to the limit where I literally could hardly walk at times and things. And the recovery from that normally was a day or two, and I'd be fine, a couple of rest days. And it got to the point where like a week later I was still thinking, God, I can't do legs again. And it was other things as well. Like,
So there's just that protracted recovery time. Then,
yeah, so it was that. And then, as I say, things that I couldn't change about anything. And that was the most frustrating thing for me. You know, as you know, I like to be in control of situations. I like to manage things properly and efficiently. And I've got, I know, very high standards on things. And so that was what devastated me more than anything. The fact that everything was out of my control. You know, I was going to my GP and I was saying, look, I'm not sleeping. I've got headaches. I've got this, I've got that. And they were like, oh, do you think it could be depression? And I was like, I'm not depressed. It's not that. And then it was like, oh, it could be long COVID. I don't think it's long COVID. I feel fine. It's certain little symptoms. And so it was for me getting a better understanding of what was causing that, and realising that the treatments and the managements that they were suggesting to, you know, one of my friends who's, bless her, very large compared to me, doesn't go to the gym. I mean, granted, doesn't smoke, doesn't drink alcohol, but it was the same bog standard information and the same bog standard management. And it just got me thinking, well, you know, people are so different. And this is why we fail, because everybody assumes that the professionals are telling you this is what you need to do, and you will lose weight and you will get fit and your blood pressure will come down. And if it doesn't, we'll give you a tablet that'll fix it. And that grates on me, because I just think, you know, not only for the person as an individual, they need to take control of their lives and their physical fitness and what they want to gain from it, but also the fact that, you know, we rely so heavily on medication for things, and it shouldn't be the way. There's so many other ways to change things.
It's so difficult because, you know, the health service obviously generally needs to be reactive because it needs to be there when you're sick or ill or, you know, whatever. And therefore the resources all get poured into that, rightly so. But if we just focused a little bit more proactively, you would end up seeing a significant difference in population health and individual health. And there are industries which are almost weaponized against health.
Yeah.
You know, you look at ultra-processed foods and tobacco, and, you know, the evidence behind vaping is starting to build. It's not as simple anymore as eat less, move more.
No.
It's not, because there are massive corporations that have designed products to make you eat more so that it dissolves in your mouth and you don't get the gut-brain signal that you should.
And I think we focus so much on these days that it's, you know, other people fixing our problems, but our lifestyles are so different to how they were, and everybody's always so busy that anybody will take that quick fix. And that's not taking anything away from anybody, because that is our society. And you notice it a lot more. People expect somebody else to take responsibility and help them fix it. But not everybody wants to put that same effort in back. And I think that's where, obviously, when we started to develop Gym Med and our slogan was knowledge is power, I'm a massive believer in that. If you know what's wrong with you and you then you're given a plan, a way to fix that without having to sit on hold for an hour a day trying to get a GP appointment for the same generic information that the next person that goes in that room is going to get, then you're taking responsibility back, but you're also shaping your life and your future to how you want it to be, not expecting somebody else to do it for you.
And that's it, it's that individualization. And you know, there was a great study recently that demonstrated that wall sits, which is sort of an isometric exercise. You hold the position for 2 minutes, you'll feel your legs burn like hell, and then you stand up. You do 3 sets of them, 2 minutes a day, 2 minutes per set, 2 minutes per rep, 3 times in the set.
Yeah.
If you do that for 12 weeks, you see a drop in your blood pressure.
Yeah.
Now that's great.
Yeah.
As long as you've not got arthritis in your knees. So it's not going to work for everyone.
No.
You know, and that's it. It's about targeting it towards you.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the idea for Gym Med's come from, really.
Yeah.
Why the switch to endurance type challenges?
For me, it's a bigger challenge. I've done numerous races in the past, numerous events and things like that. You know, I've done loads of things like Tough Mudders, Spartan events. You know, I've done a lot of charity events, like, you know, mud runs and like Race for Life and things like that. And I needed something to focus on and to train for. I always need an end goal to train for. There's no point in just going to the gym and coming home and feeling a little bit fitter. I have to have a target, and I have to push the limits. And I've always been like that. That's why I like bike racing. You know, that's why I like climbing, things like that. There's always got to be a little bit of risk involved in it, which, yeah. And Peru's looking like it's going to be like that. My daughter keeps showing pictures of 12-inch spiders and things that are going to be there. So yeah, it's kind of doing something a bit like Gym Med, where Gym Med it's unique. It gives you your unique blueprint. I like to do things differently to what other people are thinking of doing. I wouldn't be happy just, you know, training for the London Marathon or doing the Great Northern Run or something. It has to be something that I know is going to push me past my limits.
And it's nice that there's a little element of danger.
Yeah.
That's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm
Keeps
very
the
much
adrenaline going.
I'm very much the same. Like, I like going to the gym. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I've got 2 young kids. There's not much time for anything else bar
Yeah.
sort of 40 minutes at 5 a.m.
Yeah. That bit of
But
adrenaline makes you realise you're still alive.
Yeah, that's it. And I love that sort of feeling when you're high up on a mountain or doing anything sort of slightly risky.
Yeah.
That just like, well, maybe it could go wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ironically, my health has absolutely nosedived since starting Gym Med.
Yeah.
Like,
Stress levels,
well, that's
cortisol
it.
levels through the roof.
We will do an episode on sort of persistently high cortisol levels and their impact on your physiology. Yeah,
Yeah, that'll be the next podcast.
Increased abdominal weight mass and things like that. Yeah.
But yeah, it's pushing outside of your comfort zone, but doing something that you're passionate about as well. You know.
Yeah, and I'd much rather be having the conversation with someone in a Gym Med clinic going, okay, your cholesterol's a little bit high. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. We'll target this. We'll screen that. We can get this fixed. Rather than speaking to someone going, okay, you've had a small heart attack. We need to do this now.
Yeah.
It's a much happier conversation.
Oh, God,
and the impact potentially is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, it's well known that you can reduce cardiovascular risk.
Yeah.
So, just coming back to deepest, darkest Peru. Thoughts, fears, worries, nerves about it?
Yes, all of them.
All of the above. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's the itinerary that we've got for it. So the way that the challenge and the expedition is going to go, it can be changeable because of the weather. So it's not sort of rigid and set in stone. So it'll depend a lot on the weather when we get there. It's a really mixed bag. So there's some sort of free climbing and obviously rocks and trees. There's a bit where we've got to go through a tree canopy.
Sorry, freaking, that was great.
I'm really looking forward to the tree canopy.
The tree canopy,
Canopy. So there's a part of the jungle that you can only get across up in the tree canopy, and it's rope bridges and.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah, that does look cool.
So
really cool.
So that looks really good. And my friend was making me laugh. Lou was making me laugh the other day because she was like, I can't believe we're going to be like so high up without any sort of harness or anything. And it's just like, and then we were sort of laughing about what would you do if like this massive spider drops down right in front of you, because where are you going to go? What are you going to do? But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. There's bits of it that I know I'm going to find really challenging. I think the altitude is going to be a really big problem with me. So I'm not looking forward to that, but coming acclimatised, that's why it's over the sort of 16 days.
Yeah, so you get a bit of a step into it.
You do it, you steadily acclimatise to it. But I think if, in all honesty, the bit that I'm going to find the most challenging is the kayaking in the whitewater rafting bit, purely because I'm one of those swimmers that swim with the head as far above the water as they possibly can.
On the doggy paddle.
I can swim, but I'm not planning on falling out and having to swim at all.
And so you're staying camping?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so putting up your own campsite and so carrying your kit, camping,
Great.
I may end up sleeping on the Amazon jungle floor because I'm not the best at tying knots. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And other than that, sort of just having a challenge in front of you to motivate you, is there another reason why?
So yeah, it's kind of my time. I know that sounds really silly. It sounds like daft to say that you have to go to Peru to get your own time. But, I've got 2 teenager kids. Both of them are reasonably active. My son plays a lot of rugby, so I spend every Sunday driving across the country, taking him to matches. I first aid for their rugby team, so I'm there regardless of what. They train once a week, so I've got to get him to training and things. And then, obviously, with having 2 teenagers, they can't drive, but yet they still want to go absolutely everywhere and with all their friends at different times. And having a boy and a girl is an absolute nightmare because neither of them want to do the same thing. They don't want to be near each other, So a lot of it is, we go to work, it's a long shift at work, I get home, get them sorted, homework if they need help with their homework, getting them into bed, taking the mobile phones off them because they're on them in the middle of the night, and then back to the square one, getting them up for school, getting them to school. And so even on weekends, so my daughter especially comes hiking with us quite a lot, but it's just nice to get that time out where you can switch off, so you can get away from sort of your normal sort of mum duties. You're not having to think, oh God, I haven't washed the PE kit and it's tomorrow, never mind, I'll Febreze it and they can go with it dirty. So it's kind of that mental space for me, because what we do day in, day out, it's, you've got other people's health in your hands in our normal day-to-day jobs. So taking that bit of time back for yourself when, and obviously managing the company like we do, it's not all about just us. It's making sure that our staff are okay. It's making sure that, the people that we work for, the clients that we've got, it's all that management stuff. So by going either walking, climbing, or say Peru, it's my time to get away and sort of reset and reboot.
Yeah, it's almost like there's that Goldilocks period of your life. You probably don't remember, it's a long time ago for you. But do you remember when it was 21, 22, you're an adult, you're starting to get some money. You've got a job, but no real responsibility, no mortgage, no family, no kids, and you are just free.
I know.
Free as a bird. And it's just, I remember that period so fondly.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Kaz. It's been lovely having you.
Thank you. It's been good to chat.
Any final thoughts before you shoot off? Back to Gym Med HQ?
Back to work? No, not really. I just think that I'm really passionate about people taking responsibility for their health and knowing what they can do to change it, and also knowing that as a company, we're out there to help them change it and support them every step of the way.
So, hi, welcome to the Gym Med podcast. My name's Matt, obviously, as you know. Would you like to take a quick moment to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Chrissy. I'm one of the personal trainers here at Gym Med. Outside of Gym Med, I'm a mum of 3, so I get how busy it is to incorporate fitness into your life when you've got kids and people depending on you.
Fab. And when did you get into PTing yourself?
So I've always had a background in fitness. I've always enjoyed going to the gym as a child, like growing up through my teenage years. I got involved in a lot of sports. Like fitness has always been my passion. I sort of fell out of it when I had my children. So I had my children quite young. And then I fell into the routine of like putting everyone before myself, being mum, having young people relying on me. And it wasn't until I got to a place where like my mental health was really struggling from it. And I reached out to a local personal training gym that had just opened in my village. And I went to see the personal trainer that day and said, like, I've completely fallen out of love with the gym. I need to get back into doing something for myself. And he signed me up there. And then I started my sessions the next day. And that, like, from that first session, like, everything improved, like my like ability to be a mum, and just like my confidence, everything shot back up from there.
With the kids, was it the time that you just lost the interest?
I think so. I think you fall into the swing of just being there for other people, and you sort of you lose who you are, and everything just falls into a routine, like cooking
It's quite
dinners.
robotic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Almost. It's like the most caring, loving thing you should ever do. However, they've got to be up at this time. They've got to be dressed.
Yeah, it's regimented. And then they start school and everything. They always say, like, when they start school, you're on that conveyor belt and everything just sort of speeds up. And that robotic sequence just gets faster. And before you know it, like, weeks turn into months that turn into years. And I think along that process, I just completely lost sight of who I was as a person as well.
Because it was all just so focused on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the sports then, what were you into?
So I used to play a lot of netball, basketball, girls football I played a little bit of.
Oh, nice.
Rounders at school, and I also played a lot of golf.
Did you?
I did.
Do you still play?
My teenage son's just got into golf now, so it's actually something that we
nice.
do together.
Oh,
And he's really
wicked.
getting back into it. So I haven't played a lot since I was younger, but I was in a lot of girls' competitions.
No. So you played properly then?
Yeah, so my uncle was, he still is, a really good golfer, and he needed someone to be his partner in competitions. So
you play mixed doubles?
yeah,
Oh, wicked. That's amazing.
something you never knew about me.
And the gym comes in what, teen years?
So the gym came when I was at secondary school. I think it was a sort of fashionable thing to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I always used to find going to like mainstream gyms quite intimidating. I think you get a lot of, without being like sexist, a lot of men there lifting heavy weights as like a female. Like, you worry that they're just watching you, like criticising you. And I think that knocks your confidence rather than building your confidence. And so I think when I went back into personal training with this PT that I signed up with, I think giving me the confidence to know like what I was doing was right and that I was good at what I was doing, that really like reignited my passion.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you still find that now when you go into a gym?
So I run a one-to-one gym from, so my garage is converted into a gym, and that's like I mainly train women, and they love that because they can come to me without that intimidation.
Yeah.
I actually have started recently going to mainstream gyms again because I'll obviously get into that later, but I'm training for a High Rocks this year and I don't have the equipment at home to do all of that training. And I think sometimes it comes back, but I think that's just because you're stepping into like an unknown place. Like, I know I'm confident in what I'm doing, but I think sometimes when you've got like 100 different eyes watching you,
Then it starts to wear on you.
Yeah.
But do you feel that there's sort of a net positive impact for you with getting back into the fitness now the kids are a little bit older?
Yes, definitely. I think with my like mental well-being, I think the kids can sort of drain your energy levels. And with training, I know if I'm having a bad day, I just need to get in the gym for an hour and my whole mindset will be completely different when I come back out.
It's an amazing feeling though. I don't know whether I notice it more now I'm a little bit older, but the dopamine hit is phenomenal. And maybe I was just happier when I was younger, so it wasn't as much. But now I really notice it. Like if I train in the morning and then the rest of the day I'm sort of, whistling and skipping.
Absolutely. I love to set my day up with a training session first thing.
Yeah.
I'm more of a morning trainer than a end of the day trainer. And I always know I'm going to have a good day if I've done a gym session in the morning.
Yeah. And you can feel smug as well. It's like 7 o'clock, I've already achieved something that
Yeah.
no one else has, Fab. And how often do you train?
So it changes week to week. So I like to train roughly like 4 to 5 times a week, but I've learned to be quite flexible with myself because life doesn't always allow for it. Like I used to be very much like I need to get in the gym 5 times a week. If I don't, then I'm failing. So some weeks it might be 5 times, sometimes it might be 2 times, and I'm okay with that now.
Yeah.
I know as long as I get back on it, then it'll be okay.
Absolutely. So you're just a little bit more forgiving.
Yeah. I always try to stick to 10,000 steps a day though, without fail. But if I've not got myself in the gym,
And what happens if you don't get to the 10,000 steps?
then I just keep walking around the house till I do. Like a crazy woman.
I
Take the dog out for an extra walk.
Evening. I'm just grumpy.
Depressed.
That's it, fine. So you're quite committed to your goals when you set them.
Yeah.
And that brings us to High Rocks.
Indeed.
You've just registered or registering?
Yep. So the registration opens at the beginning of June. So I've set myself a goal that in December I'm going to be training and competing in the London High Rocks.
Cool. That is cool.
Yeah. I think we spoke about it, didn't we, originally? And you joked about signing us up as a team next year.
Yeah. Well, I'm busy.
Falling back on that now. Yeah. But I did say to you, didn't I?
Oh, no, I'd love to give it a go. I think my worry is time. And I think that's been my worry with health constantly is time. Where the hell do you fit it in?
I think you've just got to... I actually listened to a podcast on the way up here this morning that spoke about that and how people... It's not like excuses, but people say, when the kids are older, then I'll get back into the gym. And there's no better time than now. There's always going to be excuses. And the kids are always going to be there. Yeah, they're not going to be young anymore. They're going to grow up, but the problems change as they grow up. So it's about finding the time that you can commit to.
Absolutely. So just for those that don't know, what is the High Rock?
So High Rocks is a race where you basically compete against other people to get the best time, and there's a variety of different exercises that you do. So there's 8 different exercises you do, like skiers, rowing, farmer's carry, sledge push, sledge pull, and then in between each exercise you complete a kilometre run. Cool. So there's a total of 8 kilometres with 8 different stations.
And this has sort of exploded in popularity recently, hasn't it?
It has. Yeah. It's everywhere. Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, and it's super intense.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it?
I am. I think when I first looked at it, I thought, when you see it on paper, you don't think it's going to be that bad. And I think I used to do a lot of running, so I've run like 5Ks, 10Ks.
Welcome back to the podcast, runners.
So I think running like a kilometre at a time doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you actually put it into perspective and you've got to do these exercises between, like the mental battle you'll have in your head to even get through a kilometre after each one. But I'm really excited.
And singles, doubles?
So I'm going to do doubles. So he's actually my old personal trainer. His daughter I'm very good friends with now. And we both sort of said, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it together. And so we're going to go for it. Doubles, support each other, push each other along.
This is cool. This is really cool. And have you changed your training plan, or are you starting to change your training plan?
So I've started training in the specific exercises that are required, but we're starting it low. I've said if we're going to do this, I'm normally an all-in. Otherwise, you go home. And I know that I need to take it back a bit because I don't want to end up injured. I also had a shoulder injury at the beginning of this year, so I don't want to exert myself too far, too quickly, and then end up falling behind.
And so with it being doubles, are you going to target your training so that, say, you'll do ski erg or...
I think we're both going to train in everything for the moment, and we're going to see where our strengths are in each exercise. Yeah. And then as we move closer to it, we'll sort of work out a finalised game plan. We have decided, though, so I think the average for 2 women is about 1 hour 30 to 1 hour 40. We're not going in unless we're going to sub 120.
It's a good
So
goal.
watch this space.
That's it. We'll hold you to that. 1 hour 20.
1 hour 20.
That's 8 kilometres. It's good going.
We've got targets for how long we want to break each exercise down to, each run length.
Seems like there's a lot of planning gone into this
there is.
already. Is that the sort of natural way you approach training?
I think I like to
Really
have clear goals in my head, and then I know that I can I can break them down into actionable steps, and I know which steps I need to take to move towards that goal. I think sometimes if the goal is too vast and you don't have those steps, you can just sort of lose sight and go off track.
And when do you do this, deploy the same sort of techniques when you're training other people?
Yeah, so I think sometimes it depends. Everyone's different. Everyone has different goals. And if someone came into the gym and they said, I want to lose a stone, you're not going to lose a stone in the first 2 weeks. So how can we break that down? What can you do? What habits can we start building on now? What habits can we start that we can then start building on that's going to move you towards that goal? And then you've got realistic targets that you can hit. I think you can lose like motivation too. If your goal's too big and you're not hitting that goal quick enough, the motivation goes.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's nothing achievable in the shorter term.
Yeah.
So you just think, well, it's never going to happen and leave it at that. Do you find there's ever, what brings people to a PT?
So I think it's various different things. They've got specific goals they want to train towards, or they've never been to a gym before. They want to learn exercises. Like me, a lot of people don't like going to like mainstream gyms. So they came to like one-to-one PT sessions because they want to train and they want to have that support next to them as they train as well. Yeah. And I think the thing with a personal trainer is you're not just there for your knowledge, you're there to be like their person. I think I've mentioned this before, like I'm like their cheerleader, I'm their best friend, I'm their supportive training partner. I've got some PT clients that come to me and they're like, I want you to train with me just so I don't feel like I'm doing this on my own. And I'm here for it.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's what people need, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about that a lot recently, like how do we, introduce AI into the gym med service and program or whatever you want to call it. And there's lots of ways we can. But fundamentally, to achieve something extraordinary from, a normal, ordinary base, you have to be surrounded by great people.
100%. And I think you can have the AI talking to you and supporting you, but there is something about human connection too. Having someone that's there for you.
Oh, it's the best feeling in the world. When you achieve something and you see someone that you're close to buzzing for you, it's just great. Like, it's such a good feeling.
And I think the thing is too, like I've got one client in the gym, she's recently she's hit her 2 stone.
That's amazing.
Goal, whatever you want to call it. And she said that she feels like it's not really sunk into her yet, like what she's achieved. And I think it takes a while, doesn't it? Like with row climbing Everest, it's not, they're 2 very, very different goals, but it takes a while. Whereas if you've got someone like rooting for you, supporting you, telling you like you've done amazing.
It means a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Particularly, weight loss is hard. There's no two ways about it.
100%.
It's a tricky thing to do, and there's loads of sort of physiological reasons behind that, which I'm sure we'll go into detail at later points. But it is really tricky.
I think it's not only from that perspective as well. Like you can have the person that cheers you on, but also that person to turn to on the days when it's hard, when you can't motivate yourself to go. Someone that needs to keep you on track. Someone that's your emotional support along the way as well.
So obviously with the 3 kids and mothering them and looking after them, how do you find time to stay fit and active? How do you get that time? How? Because I've got 2 little kids and I struggle.
So your 2 kids are quite young still, yeah?
Yeah, Rufus will be 2 tomorrow and then the oldest is 3.
So they go to bed early?
Yeah, 6:30.
So there's still the evening.
Very tired in the evening, Chrissy.
And I get that, but sometimes I think it swings in roundabouts. Like I have people say like, my energy levels are low. Well, your energy levels are low because you're also not exercising.
Yeah, you haven't met my kids.
You've not met mine.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair point. And so you're disciplined. You'll say, okay, this is my time.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going to go. And even when you don't want to go.
I mean, sometimes, don't get me wrong, I'm not disciplined 100% of the time. I don't think anyone's disciplined 100% of the time. But yeah, if I know that's what I need to be doing, I will push myself. And I think you've just got to remember your why you're doing it and what it's for.
And what is it for you?
Just for feeling better in myself. I think with, like I said earlier, like mental health, how much it boosts my energy, how much it boosts my confidence, how it sets me up for my days. And also like with the high rocks, it's like challenging myself, like pushing myself to a new limit. Like I think Kaz mentioned earlier, like you don't feel alive unless your heart's really beating. Like I need that sometimes too. Like when you're stuck in that day to day, you need something to push you back to you are still alive.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's that, not that life is mundane, but it can be familiar a lot of the
Yeah.
time. When you get those little moments where you think, yes,
Yeah.
I've got that, you know,
Absolutely.
and when you've crossed that high rocks finish line, it's a hell of an achievement.
100%. I've recently started training my son in the gym. Like, obviously, he's turning into a teenage boy. He's 13 now. And he said to me, Mum, can I start getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning with you? Can we get in the gym? So we've got each other to keep
You
each other
get that bit of
accountable.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think I can't miss a training session because I'm letting him down. And I've also, off the back of that, my 11-year-old daughter, she decided she wanted to start training. I mean, she's not an early bird at all. So I do one day a week. She has a different friend round and we do a little training session circuit in the gym as well.
Nice. And do they love that?
They do. I think it gives them, I think they see me doing it and they see the buzz it gives me and they want in on that.
Yeah. And do you find that those sort of experiences with sort of PTing, training your kids, does that feed into, you know, training other mums and clients and things like that?
100%. So when I first started that PT gym that I reached out to all those years back, I was obviously a mum. I think at the time my son had just started primary school. So I'd obviously started making mum friends, and I'm the one that's in the playground saying, oh, have you tried out that new gym? I've just started going. I feel amazing. Obviously they'd see me on school runs in my gym clothes. And before the PT knew it, I'd booked out so many of his sessions into mum circuit groups. I sort of started, I was his walking advertisement for them. And then that's where my PT journey sort of started too, because I started learning how to become a PT, taking on like sessions, the marketing and actually running the sessions. And then it all just sort of flourished from there. And I think when you're someone that they can see it working for, it's all very well to sell something that you don't know anything about. But when you're actually living that life and you're doing that too, it really resonates with other mums.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even now I've got so many of my mum friends and then they refer other mums on, and that's how my business grew as well, because it's like word of mouth referrals.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people think about health and fitness from a sort of massive jump point of view, like they'll be 100 kilos and they want to be 70, and it's that immediate response we want. Whereas actually it's nothing to do with that at all, is it?
It's starting small and building from there. And then you're going to build the changes that last a lifetime as well.
Absolutely, that's it. And we notice that all the time in medicine. You know, you'll get a grossly abnormal result or something like that, and actually we wait 6 months, 12 months to retest. You know, and it takes that long. If it takes that long for a medicine to work, you know, it's going to take that long for other interventions and lifestyle changes and things like that to
100%
to take effect.
I think that's the problem too, though. Like, everyone is after a quick fix, aren't they? Like, there is nothing that will quickly fix you, and it can quickly make you, as we said earlier, like drop the weight. But you need those habits in place to make sure the weight stays off.
And it's so unbelievably important, isn't it? When you fix those changes into that wider, you can obviously do everything you want with the training and the science, but eventually it has to stick somewhere.
Yeah, 100%.
In something that's sustainable over the longer term, and that is 100% what we're about. It's not about being, you know, if you want to be shredded, we can get you there. We can optimize the hell out of you. We can use all of the science. We can review all of the data on the supplements and find something that works just perfectly for you. But actually, I'm more interested in taking that normal person from disease risk A to disease risk 0, you know?
100%. And like building like their long like, I can't say that word.
The
longevity.
Yeah.
And making sure that they are in the best possible like health perspective for their children, like, as a parent too, for their children, so they can be around for a long time. What parent doesn't want to be there for as long as they possibly can for their kids?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that bothers me a lot about having children. My risk, I'm more risk averse now since having kids. So, you know, before I would never have really given anything any consideration. We'd just have a go. Whereas now my son is so young that if I just kick the bucket now, he wouldn't remember me. And it terrifies me, you know.
That's why you need to get training, Matt.
Well, that's helped in the gym med process. You know, we'll diarise this going forward. And, you know, this is episode 1. By episode 10,
we're going to have you in the gym. By episode 20, you're going to be training for high rocks.
So that's it. I am back in the gym now. I think the last 3 years have been a lot. And I am back in now and I feel much better for it.
100%.
And it just, you know, partly, you know, I knew all the science that was going into the gym med process. And it was when I did it, it was a real hard stop moment for me. I thought, Jesus, you know, I've got some genuine health risk building here. And I was 35, 36. when I
And you
first
wouldn't
did
really
it.
expect that, would you? And in terms of like the NHS, unless you've got problems that you go to the
Yeah.
doctors for,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
investigate that.
Yeah, so I'd have had to have waited for the symptoms.
Yeah.
And then seeing them first, seeing it before the symptoms, it was a moment where I really had an opportunity to sit down and go, whoa, I need to deviate away. I mean, my job is reasonably stressful. My kids are reasonably stressful, and starting a company is not easy at the best of times. But it was an incredible motivator for me. And now I can see that you can, when you retest and you recheck to see the slow improvement, it's
that motivates you
really
to carry on.
motivating. Yeah. Because every time we check, it's like, okay, my cardiovascular risk is down from sort of, I think it was 6.6% across 10 years. And now I'm down to 4, and so all of a sudden, okay, that's a material difference.
Yeah. And when you see those numbers too as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's wild. It's like, there's a bit of a geek in me, but it is so. I've just found the whole thing really powerful, and I think, like you were saying earlier, like with your clients and the people you're training, because you've gone through that process, you can empathise with them and communicate well with them and understand it.
Yeah.
And I think that was what we decided we were going to do with GymMed, is that we need to do this to find out for ourselves first,
100%.
and then you can communicate it, because there's that genuine benefit to it.
You can speak from experience.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's in your third. I guess it's pretty normal. I mean, Kaz will tell us she's 6th decade, but in your third decade, you still feel slightly immortal. I'm not there where I sort of think, oh crap, I haven't got long left. I still don't really think about age. Like in your 20s, nothing worries you. So we've covered off sort of how we approach it from the sort of scientific point of view, the training, and I suppose the last sort of, pillar to the stool, as it were, would be nutrition. And this is something I'm fascinated by, because we know whole foods, cooking at home, etc., is better for you. But with the expenses of that, the time constraints on parents, on, everyone really, how do you sort of balance that act so that you're getting good quality food in? And
So I look at a week. So I meal plan for every day. I do my food shopping. I sit and I work through the meals that we're going to eat that week as a family. Sometimes there's meals that I know will fit into the week. So say I'm working late or something and the kids, there'll be 2 different dinners. But I always try and stay organised with what we're eating each week and meal prepping where I can too. So because I work from home, it's quite easy when there's kids snacks and stuff around too, to just fall into the habit of grabbing something quickly. I know if I've prepped myself lunch, there's something in the fridge ready for me to eat. It's a lot easier. So it's just keeping your mind as to what you're going to eat, rather than trying to think on the spot and scramble around as to what's around.
so it's just staying ahead of the game a little
Yeah.
bit. I find healthy recipes reasonably tricky to find. I know that sounds a bit silly, but I tend to find that the things that I want to eat,
You can't find a healthy.
Yeah.
And for what? Give me an example of that.
Well, it's something as simple as fajitas. Once you start looking into what's in a tortilla, you sort of think, oh, that's full of crap.
There's different varieties you can do though. So you can use an iceberg lettuce leaf as the wrap.
Yeah, I've seen that actually. Yeah, that's just to cut the carbs out of it. Yeah. And do you what works for your clients as opposed to just for you?
It's just finding things. It's hard. I'm not a massive carb, as in I don't really eat bread, and that's not out of its nutritional content. I'd much rather have.
You don't eat bread?
I
What do you mean you don't eat? That's disgraceful. Not even sourdough.
I would eat a piece of bread. I wouldn't just go and buy a sandwich from a shop. That wouldn't be my go-to. Not out of because there's too many carbs or calories. I think they're a waste of calories. I don't enjoy eating bread. Kaz, back me up. I don't really like pizza.
This is this podcast.
The pasta. I don't like how bread makes me feel. I feel really bloated after I've had bread. Not out of I just don't enjoy eating it.
So what would you grab? What would you go to then? What's like a healthy, if it was a daily tip for people, super healthy snack?
So it depends. It depends what you are. If you're a real snacker, I say to my clients that make sure you chop up some fruit, chop up some vegetables. So they're easy to grab. Like have little containers in the fridge. So when you're hungry, you've got something there to go to. Little portions of like weighed out nuts. So you've got a pre-weighed portion of nuts to go to, and you can grab something, just something that's super easy and super quick that you don't have to think about. So you don't reach for crisps or biscuits.
Yeah. And that is the temptation, is it, when you're busy?
Yeah.
Just grab them.
I think it's ease, isn't it? If you could make your life as easy by prepping first and planning first, then it's all there for you. You don't have to, it takes away that thinking about it.
So what would your sort of evening meal be for the family?
So my children don't eat fish. So I love fish. I actually could be a pescatarian. Pescatarian. I prefer fish to eating meat, but I do eat meat. So if I had something like a poached salmon fillet with salad for dinner, they'd have something else. They'd have like a spaghetti bolognese or a pizza. We don't eat, as in like the children don't eat super healthy all the time because they're kids. Let me just think off the top of my... So I make up for lunches. I quite often do like a meal prep of like a naked burrito bowl. So like a bit of rice, chicken, avocado, lettuce, tomatoes. I make up like a salsa just with tomato, red onion, coriander. Just so there's a bit like flavours. I think as long as you don't make it boring, then it's fine. Clients do ask me all the time though if I ever eat like... I've one of them in particular is like, do you ever eat chocolate? Like, yeah, of course I eat chocolate. No one has... Like she said, like she imagines PTs to literally just live off salad and drink water. That's a diet. That's not real life, right? I've got an addiction, quite an unhealthy addiction to Pepsi Max.
Yeah, no sugar in it though.
No sugar in it. It's not actually that bad for you. And I don't know, I get withdrawal symptoms if I've not had a Pepsi Max in a day.
Yeah,
it's not that bad for me though, right?
And I think that is, there's a point to that though. Like people do look at PTs as like, oh, you know, they're a bit annoying, you know, they're super healthy because they exercise all the time and they're organised and things like that. But it's not the truth, is it? It's not.
I think there's being unhealthy and there's being unrealistic. Is that the right way around?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if you said I train every day, I eat salad every day, all I drink is water, I never have fun, I never go off plan, that's not life. Like that's restricting yourself. And I think the more you restrict yourself, the more you will fall off plan.
Yeah.
So it's sticking to something that's sustainable long term and that you can have your off day of food. Like don't be hard on yourself. And I think I've got quite a few clients at the moment like that. Like the client that I've got that's just lost 2 stone, she said that she had a really off day last weekend and she felt really guilty for it. And I said, what's the point though of like losing all this weight if you're going to be hungry for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
It's not. I said it's making sure you get yourself back on track. You've had the off day, that's fine. Let's move forwards, and you don't have to feel guilty for having an off day.
And some of the evidence that I'd read, it takes about 12 months when post desired weight, so to reset your hormone levels to the body essentially accepting that is the normal
Your
weight
new
for
weight.
you. Yeah. So if you drop from 100 to 80, you then need to hold 80 for as long as you can.
Actually, when you've lost weight, it's harder to maintain that weight loss. Like losing weight is the easy bit. Maintaining it is the hard bit.
Yeah, because the body's not designed to do it.
No.
Previously, obviously, hundreds of years ago, we wouldn't be in a situation where we needed to, because you'd be scavenging for food and et cetera, and hunting and everything. And so actually the body does the opposite. It tries to cling on.
Yeah.
And it's so in a way you're almost fighting your own physiology with it. And so I found intermittent fasting a really easy way for me to do it, because I can just go, okay, 1 o'clock I can eat. Yeah.
And with your intermittent fasting, when you eat, what sort of things are you restricted with what you eat?
Within reason. No, not as strict as I would be if I was on a diet. So I find it slightly easier to do. Because one of the things I struggle with when I'm on a diet is I become super, super focused on it. And then I'll only eat like a chicken breast on its own, or just a salad leaf. And I'm really religious with it. And then,
you get bored.
Then I get bored, and then I feel really, really hungry. And then off the top we go, really.
You eat about 10,000 calories to make up for all
Exactly.
of the deficit you've been in.
I have a single pint and that's it. I'm like, oh.
Got the taste for it back again. I think that's the thing, though. That's not achievable long term if you don't enjoy eating a chicken breast and a lettuce leaf.
No, yeah, exactly. And so that's why with fasting, time restricting it makes sense for me. And actually, I've managed to drop my cholesterol a little bit as a result of that and things.
That's really good.
You know, so I guess there's lots of options, isn't there, nutrition wise, and it's a science that moves so fast. Do you feel like you've got a really good grip on your nutrition? Do you feel like you know what works for you now?
Yeah, so I know how much protein I need to eat in a day. I know what's going to give me my protein from the day. So I've got options. It's not a case that I need to drink like 3 protein shakes a day to hit my protein goals. And I think I can be quite flexible around that as long as I've hit my protein. Obviously, I can't have 120 grams of protein and then just eat fats for the rest of the day. But I know protein's going to keep me fuller for longer. I know that it's going to help me recover from training. And I sort of base my meals around the protein I'm going to have and build it out from there.
Well, thank you ever so much for coming up, Chrissy. Any final thoughts?
I think just to all parents out there that fitness is achievable for anyone and everyone, and there are tools and resources out there like GymMed that are there to support you and to help you along the way.
Fantastic.